on paper, and this is Scraptember, a series that was started by the Scrappy Sisters and Dawn Alberts, where we take a prompt every day, and it might be a theme, it might be a technique, it might be some supplies, and we each get inspired and make a layout. Today's prompt is hearts, and I went into my stash. I got my Valentine's Day things out. I found heart paper. My initial reaction was to make a cut file with hearts, but then I thought I should look into my stash first, and I really liked this dark piece. And then I have my photo, which is of flowers that my girls gave me for Mother's Day this year. So they got me a couple presents, but these were the photos. So these are the things I'm going to be using. I will grab out some embellishments and some other things to go with the layout, but this is what I'm going to get started with. So let's get scrapping. I failed to mention I am using another Scrap-A-Sketch. Scrap-A-Sketch is a Facebook group by Lisa Sikorsky. She does wonderful sketches, and it is sketch number 65. And this one comes together so quickly. So I know that I was drawn to that black paper with the hearts, and I found some red paper to match. I trimmed that down, and then from there it's trying to figure out what pieces are the right size and the right colors that I could fit them in there. So I do trim this white one to be the kind of the fishtail banner behind, and I sneak that on in there when I got it cut up down to the right size. And I really didn't want to use a red pattern paper on top of the red. I wanted to kind of break that up, but I do try different pattern papers, and they tend to be too small, like just too small. And with it being not hiding behind the photo, it's not like you can clip it in half and make it longer, because it's gonna stick out the side. And so I thought it was gonna, that you would be able to see if it was cut at all. So that pink is, I went to my stash and I found that, and so I know I can use that. I really like this. I would have liked to bring the black on the other side, but it wasn't big enough. So I'm going to trim that pink paper down and get it stuck behind the photo. I'm eyeballing everything here, and truth be told, I trimmed it down a little bit too much. But it all works out in the end, because I still want another piece to tuck on top of that pink. So I found this other red, so I tuck that in there, which turns out to be pretty close to the size of the pink, lengthwise. But I am happy with that. But the paper, that white paper with the hearts behind it, just wasn't doing it for me. So instead I removed that, and I'm just going to use this white piece of paper for the fishtail banner part. And I really like the way that looks. I pulled out some embellishments from my stash. The red heart, or the red flowers, are Nicole Jones 911. The red hearts are just a planner sticker. The XOXO is from Ellie Studio, as well as the little journaling spot. Now the pink flowers behind and in front of the Nicole Jones 911 printable red flower are close to my heart, and those were something that I had probably from like at least 15 years ago. So I have these black, I don't know if they call them nail heads, where you can poke them through the paper and then bend over the points to keep it onto the paper. These little flowers, I was not going to bend those points around those little flowers. So what I did instead is just bent them up against itself, stick an adhesive foam square onto the that nail head, and then put it in the middle of that flower. And probably the most time that took for this layout was bending over these little pieces on the nail heads to get them down. But I do use a scissors just to bend them over and get them flat. And so that'll just take me a while. Make sure you check out the playlist for Scraptember. It will be listed below. There's a bunch on there you can watch from all the different days. get some inspiration, see what everybody is doing differently. Hearts is a good one. You can go many directions with that. So that'll be fun to see what everybody does. I love Lisa's sketches, and I am slowly working through them, very slowly. She's got just a ton of different sketches, so be looking for more of those this month. So I did use that foam adhesive, and then I do use glue to get the rest of those layers down. And I just put them down where she has her clusters on the sketch. I made a title. I did not put it because the pattern paper was busy. I decided right away that I wanted my title on the left hand side on the cardstock, and so I made my title Mother's Day, and that's from my Cricut. I made it in black. And after I get that kind of tucked in by that flower, that is it. So I hope you have a fabulous day. Thank you so much for sticking with me to the end. Please consider subscribing if you haven't, and I'll see you again tomorrow for another video.